In conversation with Rusty Keeler. From Tasmania to Texas, Rusty Keeler has spent the last 30 years traveling the world designing and advocating for children's play. Rusty is a frequent keynote speaker and author of multiple books and play, including the recent Adventures in Risky Play, What is Your Years? A pioneer in the movement of connect children to nature through play,
Okay.
Rusty lives with his family beside Creek in Ithaca, New York, with a backyard full of plants, straw balls, tree houses, tires, tennis balls, hula hoops, bubbles, and more. Rusty is a current vice president of the USA chapter of the International Play Association. And on today's episode of Auto Interview, it's my utmost pleasure, joy, and excitement to have on the show today, Rusty Keeler. How are you doing, Rusty?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very fine too. It's quite lovely to have you on the show today. Quite excited we are here to talk about your books. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited.
Ab- Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, let's do it. So, Rusty, I'd like you to tell us about your book, Adventure in Risky Play, whose description on your website actually reads quite compellingly to me. And I would like to ask you, how does this book come to be? What inspired you to write Adventure in Risky Play?
Sure. Um, so I'm a natural playground designer,
Mm.
and I work with schools and parks and childcare centers
Wow.
and to design environments for children.
Mm.
But my specialty is nature. I used to do it playground equipment, but now I do like natural. My whole career was doing natural playgrounds. So
Mm.
trying to build environments that had hills and trees and mud, rocks, gardens, chickens, kind of wild stuff, kind of connecting kids to nature and to the earth. And I believe in play as like kind of a natural way of being in the
Mm.
world for all of us, and especially children. I feel like
Wow.
that's how they're tapped into to play and the flow of play and life. And in order to grow and learn and develop and become who they're going to be to their best, the best ability, I
Mm.
feel like they need the freedom to play and ask questions and make mistakes and fall down, but then get back up.
Wow.
So the idea of risky play
Mm.
is, at least here in North America, we like we got to protect our children a lot.
Mm.
And it's understandable. We don't want anything bad to happen to them. But
Absolutely.
in many ways, people are saying that we have overprotected and then said no to a lot of children's play and a no to a lot of their freedom. So
Yeah.
my book is a way to say, wait, this kind of play is important, even risky play is important, and we need to say yes to play,
Mm.
even if it's tricky for adults, either parents or teachers or caregivers.
Wow.
So risky play. So I've traveled all over the world. I've seen some pretty amazing play spaces designed and built, or kids in nature doing things. And I just really believe in, children being able to jump water and get messy,
Mm.
balance on logs, fall off as learning and growing. So
Wow.
my book is like kind of promoting that, saying that it's important and there's benefits to that,
Mm.
and to try to help adults think about how they can support that kind of play.
Wow. I love your
Yeah.
take of this book, really. It sounds to be quite amazing to me. I love your description of adventure and risky play. And even when I read through a snippet of it on your website, I was intrigued. I was intrigued by the description of it and also by the feedbacks from people who have read it. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go on now, I'd like us to talk a bit about your season of play, as you have another book in the name of Seasons of Play. For readers who haven't read that yet, and of course, without giving much information away, do we have a sneak of what you would expect in terms of teams picking up seasons of play? And if you have a copy of it, I'd like you to show to the camera so you can see what it looks like.
Seasons of play. And again, it's
Very beautiful.
pictures. This
Oh.
this it's like photographs. So
Mm.
I know this is a literature. This is a literature podcast here,
Yeah.
interview, but mine is more like photos and I do drawings. Let's see. It's like a drawing. Like my designs are in here a little bit. Let's see.
Wow. Do you do the illustration yourself? They're hot.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, where is it in here? Yeah,
Interesting.
like this kind of thing. Can
Oh, I can see. Oh,
yeah.
seed.
Seed Center. That was the name of this school, little
Oh,
school.
wow. That's very beautiful. Quite vegetation and leisure. Quite
Yeah.
vegetative look. And I like the way
Yeah.
it's shining, kind of glossy look.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so this book for here in North America, a lot of playgrounds, people think playgrounds or children's spaces that it has to be equipment, that it has to be soft rubber surface can be I believe that children really need these connections to the earth and to the seasons and to weather and just kind of like real experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm lobbying for these kind of to create these kind of environments that are like
Wow.
and not just all nice when it's nice weather and sunny. That kids need to get out in all kinds of weather. So this book, the Seasons of Play book, was looking at three small schools for early childhood, young children,
Mm.
all year long. They all have natural pits and gardens and all that kind of stuff. But it was kind of like a photo project for myself originally. Just visit different times of the year, different seasons, different weather, and take pictures and see what kind of play goes on there, and
Mm.
then eventually share it with the world in a book.
Wow. I love your take on that, really. It
Yeah.
sounds very amazing. And I think I'm really surprised and taken aback by the themes that your book expands on. It sounds to be quite great to me. And now I'd like to move a
Thanks.
bit into something relating to readers' feedbacks. Yeah, because I'm always fascinated about how, readers would always come up with different ideas, and sometimes they might get a message the author intended, and sometimes they might not get a message. But then I particularly wanted to ask you, what kind of feedback have you gotten so far as your books are concerned? Say what the season of play and the first one, adventure and risky play, and also the other one we're going to be talking about later on. What kind of feedback have
Yeah.
you gotten so far with them?
Well, it came at a time here in the last decades or so when people started thinking about this also. So it came at a time where people were like, "Yeah, we do want kids to connect to nature. Maybe they've lost that connection." There was another book that came out. Book talked about kind of the disconnection of children from nature. So
Mm,
that was kind of just in the general mindset. And then my books came out as a way because I'd been designing already and working with communities to build
wow.
these natural plants. And I thought put out there show that this is beautiful and that we can do it as communities. We can work together. We can build things big and small, and that the experiences are beautiful for children and really
Wow.
important for children.
Oh, wow.
So I found children playing and connecting and getting messy and all that, and yeah, people really like it. So I've been kind of on a nonstop journey. I do talks, people invite me to do conferences and talks and present and do workshops and all over the place. So yeah,
Mm.
people are excited about it, and I'm glad.
That's interesting, really. I'm excited to know about that. Congratulations on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. And I'd like us to
Yeah.
talk about your other book in the name of Natural Placescapes. What inspired
Yeah.
you thinking of that as well? Also, what inspired to write under the genre of children's education literature? And also, I think you have love for anything natural having to do with things. I'm not quite sure if that's correct.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm an outdoor person. I like, going on hikes and getting in creeks and
Oh,
swimming in the lakes around here where I live and
yeah.
yeah, exploring and experiencing. And so I grew up that way. Like I
Oh,
grew up I had like fields behind my house and I just used to roam around all different seasons and build snow forts in the wintertime or climb trees and pick berries in summer and so that's kind of how I started thinking about the spaces to design for children.
mm. Oh, wow.
Originally, I went to school to be a designer, to design plastic stuff and design,
Wow.
manufactured industrial design stuff. And I started doing playground equipment, and that's where I I realized I loved designing for children and designing for play. But
Mm.
then and my ideas shifted. I saw more like one of a kind playgrounds or whole environments for children that maybe had a little play structure, but the rest were hills and wild bushes and kids getting dirty in gardens and sculpture and
Wow.
communities coming together and build them themselves. And so I came back to the US and just started. I was like, that's what playgrounds should be, that they should connect children to nature and so that
Absolutely.
kids can have experiences that I was able to connect to nature, and I know that helped me, and it's kind of endless
Yeah.
exploration.
Interesting.
So before my first book, the journey was to design these and work with schools and kind of go all over and have experiences.
Mm.
So I probably did that for about 10 years, and then the first book came out.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, I gotta put this in books, show pictures. I was doing presentations that people
Wow.
really liked, and because it's very visual. I could
Yeah.
talk, yeah, I could talk about it. We're talking about it, but it's nice to see the pictures of like
Mm.
children really engaged and really,
Absolutely.
the good, the bad, and the messy. Yeah.
Love your
Yeah,
take.
and then the first book came out. So that was
Yeah.
kind of just talking about the fly. First book
Yeah.
was really about the design, was about the concept, the idea, and design, and then how that communities can do it,
Mm.
how people can.
Yeah.
Second book then was looking at the kind of play in all seasons,
Yeah.
nature and winter and mess and all the different weather and things. And then the next one was the risky play of like children really need to be able to mix it up, get in there, make mistakes, fall down, but then be able to get back up and learn and grow through
Mm.
play.
I love the sound of that, really. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. And now, apart from natural playscapes, apart from seasons of play, and also apart from adventure and risky play, do you have any other works you've authored or currently working on? And also, I just realized that your titles sort of rhyme, more like I'm reading a poem. Look, let me say it again.
Yeah, let's
Natural
hear it.
playscapes, seasons of play, adventure and risky play, everything lay, at the back. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm just kind of I've been doing more talks. I think that I did this big fall speaking tour, kind of working with all different people, mostly in the United States, but I was also in Estonia, kind of in northern Eastern Europe, and just kind of talking about this because people are really interested and they know it's important for children. And
Yeah.
at least say in North America, the opportunities for children to have free play outside in nature, it
Mm.
doesn't happen. Like when I was a kid, I was out all the time. I didn't really want to be inside. I want to be outside because that's where the action was. That's where other kids are. Get on your bike and go, and you have freedom, and that was just what was normal. That's just natural. Kids kind of everywhere in the communities.
Mm.
But things have shifted. Things have shifted where children are not out. Even in the town that I live in, which is pretty safe and easy to walk on and bike around, kids are like more scheduled. There's a lot of pressure with schools. Parents are nervous about children outside. What's
Mm.
going to happen? Will they get taken?
Yeah.
And then screens and technology. Now we like technology some because look, we're getting to talk, through technology, across the planet, and how awesome is
Across the
that? And of
ocean.
course, yeah, across the ocean, and of course, there's great stuff about technology, but it is also like sucked kids in, and children are on screens so much,
So much.
and so, yeah, so I'm saying we need to pull them off screens and give them some real experiences, like really with themselves and nature or just outdoors and other kids. And yeah, so I really feel like it's kind of this call to arms, like we really need to do something about this, and we
Mm.
can start small. But the great thing, the answer is play, like just let children having free play to get
Mm.
outside and experience life, the world, sunshine.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
feel it's a big issue.
I love your take on that. And that it's actually reality, things people need to be aware of. Very amazing and quite great. And you've got a great mission with these books. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and even the fact that
Yeah,
you have to come
thank
to
you.
talk about it, I'm really impressed. Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you, how did you grow up? How did you play? What do
Oh,
you remember your favorite things doing outside?
when I was young, right, while I was a kid, right? It's a different experience from someone growing up in America and someone growing up in Nigeria. And it also differs with the kind of household where you grow up. Maybe it's middle class or it's higher class or it's poor class, low income class, stuff like that. So it differs. What I know I did was some local place when I was young. I did a lot of moonlight plays. I remember we gathering around some old folks telling us stories. And then I'm not quite sure I did anything about technology. I'm not quite sure even the technologies by those time. Yeah, I'm young. Yeah, I'm currently 26. Yeah, so but the thing I knew I did when I was very young, I just playing with my neighbors' kids, playing with people, playing football, going to watch television in someone else's house, and some very different. It might sound a bit very different from what we have currently in our current world, where you have kids play with different sorts. So we did a lot of in-person plays. Yeah, I remember we did a lot of in-person play, going to one another's houses, staying so late in the night that your mom will have to come and call you. Aren't you gonna sleep today? Please leave that place and come back home. Sometimes we'll play with hurt ourselves and cry, go back home with tears. Then that will not stop us from not playing this next day. We have to go over. Even if it sustains some injury, we go back there again and continue for the next day.
Yeah.
So those are the kind
Yes.
of play that I remember I did or I had when I was very young. Yeah.
Yeah, and so okay, and then so in your town, do children play that same way?
Yeah, I think it's the same as at that age, as at that time. Because even currently, there are some pictures that spot out over the internet space, and they would ask that if you still remember this place, say I, place where we roll tires under the rain, or we go inside the rain and start baiting naked because we're young. I don't know if you've ever had the kind of a rain bait. Do they
Yeah.
do that in America?
I,
Whenever it rains here in Africa, in Nigeria, when we were young, remember we bathe in the rain. We'll go under the rooftop so the rain could splash on our body. I'll be very excited. We'll be running up and down. Yeah, we are having fun. Yeah, we are bathing under the rain.
yeah.
Oh my, it might sound a bit weird to you, but
That's
it's
good.
so fun. It's so fun. Once you are done bathing, you will go inside shivering, shivering, and gnashing your teeth. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you've had enough bait. You're already you're engrossed with code now. Then you now begin to shave and shiver. They cover yourself with a lot of clothes, and that's all for the day. Yeah, so I remember we do rain baiting when it's raining season, and a lot of fun, really, a lot of fun. Things have changed. Things have changed.
I like that. I like that. There's an artist that inspired us. My family does this every once in a while, like making rain shadows.
Oh,
So before it starts, you know the rain's about to come, so you lay down on the ground or the sidewalk or whatever, and it starts raining, and you lay there in the rain, and then you get up, and on the ground is a shadow of your where it's not hit. You block the rain, so you can like
oh,
do
okay, I
poses on
get
the
that.
ground, and
That's nice.
yeah, yeah.
I get that. That's nice. But I wouldn't stay long forever before the other rain washes it away.
Right, exactly. So you got quick take a picture or just
Take a picture,
admire it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I can imagine that in my brain, how that would be, how that would look like. Beautiful, beautiful plays and adventures, really. Quite fun. Quite fun.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
And with simplicity of rain, right?
Yeah,
Having those
beautiful.
memories.
A lot of memories, good old days. Things have changed. The world is evolving.
Yep.
Technology is taking over. Now we have kids that can stay all day, morning till evening, on games, on screen games, video games, playing all sorts. It's things have really changed, really. Things have changed. And then just in case of we have some viewers who might
Yeah.
be watching this interview, I would love to get a copy of any of your books. On what platform are they available on for purchase?
Oh yeah. You can go to my website,
Yeah.
probably the best place, rustykeeler.com. Yeah. Yeah, and I have a newsletter, so I'm always putting fun things out or ideas and resources for people who are interested in this subject.
Mm.
And yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. And I left a link in the description part of this interview where interested viewers can get a copy of Rusty Keeler's books directly on Amazon, on Barnes& and Nobles, on his website, and also another platform. I also left links to his social media pages for possible followings. So thank you so much, Rusty, for accepting the invitation to be featured in P English Literature. I must say this is more than awesome, quite exciting, quite fun also having this lovely conversation with you around the beautiful books. Thank you so much for coming on. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
me too. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah.